Right. Hey guys, how you guys doing? It's me back again with another expert interview, and this is one that I'm doing that is actually quite close to my heart because I've got a cool dad, emotional mom, and myself. We like to focus on wellness because we do need it, and I'm with Steve Peralta. AKA Six Pack Steve. He is our, the company I work with, he is our wellness coach, but he doesn't just work with us, he works with others. And what he's been able to do within the company kind of transform the way we think about wellness and mindfulness and how we take care of ourselves. So we'll be talking about holistic wellness, spiritual, mental, social, physical, emotional, and financial. And I just want to say thank you very much for taking time out to speak out of your amazing schedule.
Cool.
And if the people watching just want to become better in all areas of their life, from all types of people, but this is an important one because we're talking about holistic wellness. So if you can just introduce yourself to the people,
Sure.
Who you are, where you're from, where you're going. Take it
Okay,
away.
cool. So my name's Steve. From Durban initially. Grew up there. Was there until I was about 18 years old.
All right.
I then spent the rest of the next 15 or so years traveling the world, doing a lot of music, and living what I would call as a pretty crazy, not necessarily healthy life. Yeah, and that took its toll. I experienced a fair amount of physical, mental, emotional issues.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to make a change.
Yeah.
And this led me to explore ways that I could change my own life from a body, mind, spirit perspective, and then hopefully help others to do the same.
Yeah.
So I started studying. I started with the body. I became a personal trainer. Then I found a institute called the Czech Institute. They're based out of the United States, where we work on holistic health.
Mm-hmm.
Again, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being. I studied and trained through them for a while. I started working as a holistic, integrative wellness coach.
Yeah.
And then I ended back here in South Africa. My vision was to access and help the corporate space because I had people from my family that had suffered based on the demands placed on them in the corporate space. And then I put my mind to that, and now I'm here in the corporate well-being space, and I help people and companies address the typical demands of the environment and bring more vitality and health and well-being to their lives so that they can perform better, be happier, essentially.
That's cool. And what we've seen you do over the past year, it's been just about a year now, it's been absolutely amazing. And I'm working as a consultant for over a year and a half now. I can actually relate to the stresses, the pressures, the timelines. I thought my parents and people I've spoken to before are talking about work stress and health issues resulting from all the stresses from work. I thought they were lying, and then I thought they were being dramatic, and then I started working. I was like, yeah, this is real. It's not a game, people.
Definitely.
So a very important thing is like to take care of your health. So you talk about the wellness wheel, right? Living a holistic life, living a balanced life. And when I just started actually thinking about it, many people live an imbalanced life, especially here in the corporate space. I mean, you've got high-level executives who've got a lot of money. They're very well financially, but in terms of their spiritual and their body and sometimes their personal relationships, they're not even well balanced.
Sure.
And then I've also interacted with people who are actually corporate psychologists who deal with people who want to actually commit suicide because of the work pressures. And it's not only in the corporate environment, but as a young person, as a mom, dad, wherever you are, you need to live like kind of a holistic life, because if it doesn't really matter if you've got one period or one point of your life in point, but then everything else is out of balance. So just from your perspective and from what you've seen and experienced, what is the importance of living a balanced lifestyle from the wellness level?
Sure. I mean, you can look at balance from different perspectives. You look at it balance across that wheel. In other words, addressing all those key elements of your life. But you can really simplify that and look at it as balance just in terms of work versus rest, for example. Or if you go into the eastern side of it, yin and yang and so on, and that's where a lot of the issues arise out of these days. It's just go, work, and the body's not designed for that. The mind's not designed for that. The spirit's not designed for that. We need times of recovery, renewal, reflection, etc. And I think that's what we are missing in our lives, and definitely in the corporate environment.
Yeah.
And if we managed to get that right, we'd definitely experience the benefits of that without a doubt. But I think what's key is perhaps having a vision, a crystallized vision of your life, or a legacy you want to leave, etc., and then aligning these different elements of your life with that vision, and realizing that if I don't address my mental, emotional self, my relationships are going to suffer. I'm going to be stressed. I'm going to be tired, and that's not going to allow me to live my legacy or my vision. And you can start to understand why it's important to address all these parts of your lives, and then also understand what your values are and live in alignment with one's values. It's important stuff. Quite a cool thing to do is to just look, what do I spend my time, energy, and money on?
Yeah.
That shows what you actually are valuing at the moment.
Yeah.
But very often it won't align with your deeper, true values. So becoming aware of what those really are, and we all have them, and some of them are universal, but knowing what those are and then choosing to spend one's time, energy, money according to that will start to yield well-being. It's stressful to live out of alignment with one's values.
Well, that's very true. So find out your values and actually stay true to them. So if you can just give us a practical, maybe stories or just your observations for people who are too extreme regarding different aspects of wellness, and people who don't focus, people out of balance. What do you find has actually happened from practical experience? Because we like to be fact-based. Let's be fact-based about this. What have you seen by people being out of balance extremely?
It's unhealthy to be extreme in both aspects. Being healthy or
sorry about that.
Or aiming for health too intensely can become stressful in and of itself. You don't want to create more stress in your life through it, but ignoring it is equally as unhealthy. I read a cool thing the other day about discover your edge and lean just beyond it. Don't push totally in the one direction and you're missing that authentic
fine balance
space, and then don't ignore it as well. So from a health perspective, just challenge yourself a little bit just beyond your edge each day and push yourself, look for growth, etc. But don't become extreme without a doubt. And there's if you're looking for fact-based stuff, I've had, most of the time my clients are the ones that they come to me because they haven't tried at all. They're totally off the mark. But I also, within my industry as well, I do know of a lot of fitness enthusiasts and so on that take it too far. You can almost become too fit as well, too fit-centric, and that can be unhealthy in and of itself. If you exercise on top of an already stressed body, for example, you are adding more stress to your body. So that could be an example of taking it too far. Listen to your body, learn to understand its messages, and act accordingly. If you are tired, and if you're tired, you're feeling a little bit drained, don't exercise. Rather, go and do some Tai Chi or some deep breathing or eat a good meal. That kind of thing. So just learn to listen to your body. I think that forms the crux of that.
Yeah. Well, you see, listen to your body, listen to your mind. From Six Months to himself. So we just want to just focus on various aspects of the wellness wheel, and I know recently we've been. There's been a hectic focus on mindfulness and your mind. So three parts: mind, body, spirit. Those are obviously part of the wellness wheel, but those are kind of important.
Sure.
Can we just first touch on mindfulness and your mind, because one of my favorite books says it is with the mind that we serve people.
Sure.
So can we just talk about what is the importance of taking care of your mind, and some tips for the people that they can use for their mind.
I would say mindfulness lies at the foundation of all of this, actually. Becoming mindful of how we spend each moment, becoming mindful of the choices we make, etc. But mindfulness in a nutshell is how we pay attention. So it's paying attention in the present moment, non-judgmentally, and on purpose. So what does that mean? It means being present. And we are present. When we are present, we are open up to so many more opportunities in that moment. We take ourselves out of automatic behavior, automatic responses, reactive behavior, reactive food choices, all this kind of stuff, and we become more empowered to choose mindfully. So mindfulness can be done formally and informally. So formally, you literally practice mindfulness. It can be a sitting practice. Focus on the breath, pay attention to your breath, and just sit with that for a few minutes, eyes closed.
So you're talking about like more like meditation.
So I don't want to use that word, but yes.
Okay.
But if you just look at mindfulness of the breath, meditation has some connotations that may not work for some people, but mindfulness is free from religion, free from dogma. It's just how you pay attention. So you could sit there, eyes closed, paying attention to your breath, just noticing it. And when the mind wanders, as the human mind does, it's our nature for our mind to wander, you just notice that and bring it back to the breath. And each time you're doing that, you're strengthening your mindfulness muscle.
Yeah.
And you are then strengthening your ability to stay present in the moment and make more mindful choices as opposed to just going onto automatic pilot.
Yeah.
That can then inform the choices you make when it comes to money, the choices you make when it comes to physical health, mental, emotional, etc. And the practice of mindfulness itself takes us into a brainwave state which is very beneficial for our health. We spend, I don't want to get too technical, we spend a lot of time in the beta brainwave state, okay? That's when we focus, we're trying to think and going into our narrative mind, all that kind of stuff, which if you think about the corporate environment, that's always
all
there.
that happens, we can relate to that,
And that, there's a time and place for it, but if we're in that too often, it creates stress, it can lead to depression, it's just not sustainable. And the more often we're in it, the less easy it is for us to access the slower mind wave states, which are great for health, for being in the present moment, and for being able to sleep properly, etc., etc. This is why so many people are suffering with sleeping issues and so on. So mindfulness is an antidote to that. Living mindfully is very
so
important.
that's basically, you would say that's the foundation of
I would say
living.
definitely.
And then another part, take care of your mind. You practice mindfulness. Let's talk about the body, because when people say wellness, when people think about wellness, they think about fitness. The very first thing they think about is your body.
Exactly.
But we've talked about fitness in terms of mind is more important than the body. But let's talk about the body. Tips for people to take care of the body, get in shape, but more importantly, stay in shape. What would you? I know the strategies out there all the time, but personally from you, basic strategies that you've seen actually work.
Sure. So you're going to get different kinds of people that are into fitness, people that aren't into fitness. But a general rule is that we need to move.
Yes.
And we need to move more, especially in our typical sedentary environment. So the body needs to move. It needs full-bodied whole movements. So if you are a gym goer, do things like deadlifts and squats and pushes and pulls. They're using your whole body.
Yeah.
That'll serve your health far better than doing a bicep curl, for example. Obviously, if you want to build your bicep, then do a bicep curl. But from a health perspective, full-bodied movement. It gets blood and oxygen and nutrients pumping throughout the body. If you're not into gym, go for walks, dance, go for hikes, whatever. Just move your body. Our bodies are designed to move, and they actually rely on movement to function properly. You can almost think of it as our body stagnating when we don't move enough. So move more.
Yes.
I mean, really, that's the crux of it.
That's the crux of
move
it.
more.
Yeah.
Especially within the corporate environment.
Yeah. So, guys, we need to move. Literally, we need to go out there and dance. Another thing is about the body, is about the things that we eat.
Sure.
Our diet. Our diet is important. I can attest to that because I've had bad diets, I've had good diets, and I've had a mix. Not that it's a mix because these are good or bad.
Sure.
So could you can you talk about the importance of the diet and how people can stay committed to the diet?
Sure.
Yeah.
So again, this will vary for people because some people are really strict, some people are not very strict. But again, there are some universal principles, and probably the main one is eat real food. So
no KFCs, no debonair.
No, that doesn't constitute real food. It's been processed, it's been additives, preservatives added to it. Our body doesn't recognize it as real food. So eat whole foods in their natural state. This doesn't mean you have to be vegetarian or not be vegetarian. It can all apply. You could follow Banting from a real food perspective or not. You could follow low fat from a real food perspective or not. Vegetarian, or you know what I mean. But eat real food.
Yeah.
Food that we are designed to eat, essentially. When we don't, that food robs our body of more energy than it actually gives us,
Oh, okay.
and it can cause a whole host of
So
issues.
that's why people like, I've been eating a lot, but not eating all the right foods.
Yeah.
And then people end up tired. And
No,
then,
sure.
And then they wonder why not.
Definitely.
And then the importance of hydration. I know because we have water coolers all around the corporate environment. However, people don't use them often. Yes, they do stay hydrated, but they have too many coffees. Too
sure.
many of these.
Yeah.
I'm bad, but I'll get there one day. So, with the importance of hydration, and not only being hydrated, but of the right
Sure.
stuff.
Yeah, so hydration is very important.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few factors that come into it depending on the temperature, your levels of stress, your size, your level of activity, etc. But a nice little, from a general sense, a nice thing to use is 0.033 times your weight. And that'll give you your liters a day. That's like quite scientific.
Yeah.
If you don't want to get that scientific, I'd say aim for at least 1.5. And if you're a bigger person, add a bit more, add a bit more, add a bit more. Strategies: a glass or two of warm water with lemon in the morning is a great strategy. Get your digestive processes going, which will set you up nicely for breakfast.
Yeah.
And then think of having maybe a glass or two of water before each meal. So if you're eating, say, 4 meals a day, by the end of the day, that'll give you your 8 to 10 glasses. That's a nice way to look at it. Or keep a bottle with you. Like, I failed to do that today because I had a lot going on. I've had meetings, and now I'm dehydrated. And I'm feeling a little bit not so awesome, but yeah.
Yeah, he'll get well after this, people. I promise he'll get well after this.
So yeah, and that's the other thing. You need to plan ahead, and that applies to all of this with your eating and your hydration.
Yeah.
Plan, because sometimes life has other plans, and then if you're not prepared,
you're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
So it's also another aspect of wellness is the social component. People that we socialize with, and also like in terms of your family, your colleagues, and your family and friends. Now, what happens here in the corporate environment? Sometimes we don't socialize enough. We just want to socialize. Hey, can I put you in for this meeting? Done with the meeting. Bye. I'm done with you. What is honestly, that actually does happen. So, what is the importance of like socializing at the right levels and with the right people that you've seen?
Very important. I mean, Gallup did a poll recently, and they came up with 5 key well-being areas, and career was number 1 actually.
Yeah, okay.
So if you're not happy in your career, that affects everything else. But anyway, career, financial, physical, emotional, and social, or community. Very important. We rely on connection. Our health relies on connection. Our mental, emotional, spiritual health. So we essentially need to connect more with people, and we live in quite a disconnected world. We connect with more people than ever, but not in a real.
Yeah, because this is what normally happens.
Exactly, and that's not the connection you need.
You, but not really.
You need eye-to-eye connection. We've got things in our brains called mirror neurons, which feed off each other. It's amazing stuff. But we need to get out more and interact with people we love, get to know people, listen more, look at people's eyes. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. It's not all airy fairy. Our physiology needs it to be healthy. So I mean,
exceptionally important from a wellness expert himself.
No, but it's true. I mean, we could all do with more of that.
Yeah, definitely. So get off social media. Not really get off social media, but
use it wisely. Be mindful.
Be mindful of it.
Exactly.
Mindfulness practice. Okay, so just to kind of wrap up, because I have a passion for the youth people coming up, the young people. Not to say that old people are not important, but the earlier you start, the better it is. So if we can just kind of wrap up and just for you to just give them some advice when it comes to holistic living from the perspective of being a young person.
Sure. Okay. So I'd say, and this may change over your life, but have a vision, have a dream, and align your choices with that dream. Know what your values are, align your choices with your values. So without getting too crazy about it, connect with your vision and your dream and your values fairly often, and just see if you're on track or not. In terms of practicalities, eat real food, move more, be mindful, and connect with yourself, with nature, and with others, and you'll be healthy.
Yeah, definitely. And when he says move and connect, not the clubs all the time. Those are fun. All right, so this is Steve Peralta.
Time and a place.
Yeah, time and a place for everything. So this is Steve Peralta, Six Pack Steve, a wellness coach. And thank you very much, Steve, for affording your time.
Cool, man.
And guys, we'll see you on the next video. Wish for you is that you live a healthy and well life, and that you remain mindful and take care of your body. And we do believe that holistic living is very important. So have a good one.
Cheers.